Have you ever felt that knowing sensation in the pit of your stomach? That restless, uneasy feeling that something's not quite right with your life? Maybe you've experienced it while lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering why success always seems just out of reach. Or perhaps it hits you during those quiet moments at work when you realize you're not living up to your full potential. We've all been there. That moment when we look around and wonder, is this really all there is? We see others achieving their dreams, living lives of purpose and fulfillment. And we can't help but ask ourselves, why not? But here's the truth that might be hard to swallow. The life you're living right now is a direct result of the thoughts you've been thinking. That intricate web of belief, attitudes, and expectations you carry around every day has shaped every aspect of your existence. It determines your career path, your relationship, and even your bank account balance. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. That's a pretty bold claim. Surely there are other factors at my upbringing, my circumstances, is the economy, and you're not entirely wrong. External factors do play a role. But let me ask you this. Why is it that two people can face the same challenging circumstances, yet one thrives while the other struggles? The answer lies in their mindset. Think about it. How many times have you talked yourself out of pursuing an opportunity because you didn't think you were good enough? How often have you settled for less than you deserve because you didn't believe you could have more? These decisions weren't made by some external force. They were made by you, based on the beliefs you hold about yourself and the world around you. Here's the good news. The absolutely life-changing news: your mindset is not set. It's not some immutable part of your DNA that you're stuck with for life. No, your mindset is something you can change shape, and when you do, everything else changes with it. This isn't just feel-good talk or wishful thinking. It's a fundamental truth backed by decades of research in psychology. Enduros. Our brains are constantly forming new neural connections. It's based on our thoughts and experience. When we consciously choose to change our thought patterns, we're literally rewiring our brains for success. Let me give you an example. There was a young woman who grew up in a household where money was always, from an early age. She internalized the belief that wealth was something reserved for other people. People who were smarter, more talented, or just plain luckier than her. This belief shaped every financial decision she made well into adulthood. She passed up opportunities for advancement at work because she didn't feel worthy. She'd overspend on credit cards because deep down, she didn't believe she could ever truly get ahead. But then something remarkable. She stumbled upon the concept of mind and how it shapes our reality. Intrigued, she decided to challenge her long-haired beliefs about money. She started small, simply questioning the negative thoughts that popped up whenever the topic of finances arose. Is it really true that I can't be wealthy? What evidence do I have to support that belief? As she continued to challenge and reframe her thoughts, something shifted. She began to see opportunities where before she saw only obstacles. She started taking calculated risks in her career, negotiating for better, and making smarter financial decisions. Within a few years, Her entire financial situation had transformed, not because she won the lottery or inherited a fortune, but because she changed the way she thought about money and her relationship. This is the power of mindset. It's not magic, but it can produce magical results. Now, I want you to take a moment and reflect on your own life. What beliefs are holding you back? What thoughts are keeping you small? Maybe it's the voice that tells you you're not smart enough, have to start that business you've been dreaming, or the one that says you're too old to change care. Perhaps it's the belief that you don't deserve a loving, supportive relationship. Whatever those limiting beliefs are, I want you to know they're stories you've been telling yourself often for so long that you've mistaken them for truth. But they're not true. They're just thoughts. And thoughts can be. Changing your mindset isn't always easy. It requires conscious effort, persistence, and a willingness to step outside your comfort. But I promise you, it's worth it. Because when you change your mindset, you change everything. Think about the areas of your life where you feel stuck or unfulfilled. Your career, your relationships, your health. All these are directions of your current mindset. If you're not where you want to be in these areas, it's time to take a hard look at the thoughts and beliefs that have gotten you here. Are you the type of person who sees problems or opportunities? Do you view challenges as roadblocks or stepping stones? When faced with failure, do you see that as a reflection of your worth or as a valuable learning experience? These aren't just rhetorical questions. They're the key to unlocking your potential and creating the life you truly desire. Let's talk about failure. In our society, failure is often seen as something to be avoided at all cost. We're taught from a young age, success is good and failure is bad. But what if I told you that this view of failure is one of the biggest obstacles to your success? The most successful people in the world, in any field, have failed more times than most of us, have even tried. They faced rejection set, an obstacle that would make most people give up. But they didn't give up because they had a different mindset about failure. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of their worth, their abilities, they saw it as feedback. They understood that every no brought them one step closer to a yes. Every mistake taught them a valuable lesson that would ultimately contribute to their success. Imagine how different your life would be if you embrace this mindset. How much more would you attempt if you weren't afraid of fail? What dreams would you pursue if you knew that setbacks were just part of the journey, not the end of the road? The shift in perspective, from seeing failure as something to be avoided to seeing it as a necessary step toward. It's just one example of how changing your mindset can radically transform your life, but it goes beyond just reframing failure. A growth mind, the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning, affects every aspect of your life. In relationships, a growth mindset allows you to see challenges as opportunities to strengthen your bond, rather than signs that you're incompatible. In your career, it enables you to take on new challenges with enthusiasm rather than fear in your personal development. It motivates you to continually learn and grow, rather than Can settling for the status. Now I want you to take a moment and imagine your ideal life. Close your eyes if you need to. What does it look like? How do you spend your days? What kind of relationships do you have? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Got that image in your mind? Good. Now here's the million-dollar question. What's stopping you from living that life right now? If you're like most people, probably immediately started listing all the reasons why that ideal life is impossible. I don't have enough money. I don't have the right connection. I'm not talented enough. I'm too old to start over. But I want you to consider, what if those aren't actually reasons, but excuses? What if they're just thought, products of your current mindset, but you've accepted as truth? Because here's the reality. There are people out there living the kind of life people who started with less than you have right now. People who faced bigger obstacles than the ones you're the difference. They refuse to let their circumstances define their possibilities. They chose to adopt a mindset of abundance growth, and you have that same choice right here, right now. You can choose to continue with the mindset that's brought you to where you are today, or you can choose to adopt the mindset, one that will take you where you want to go. This choice isn't a one-time decision. It's a commitment you need to make every single day. It's about catching those negative thoughts when they arise and consciously reframing them. It's about challenging your limiting beliefs and replacing them with empowering ones. It's about treating your mind like the powerful tool it is and programming it for success. Let me share another story with you. There was a man who had always dreamed of becoming a writer, beloved words, had a vivid imagination, and felt most alive when he was crafting stories. But for years, he never pursued this dream. Because he had a fixed mindset about Tao, he believed that great writers were born, not made. He looked at his favorite authors and thought, I could never be that good. So instead of Ryan, he worked a job he hated, all the while telling himself that he was being responsible and practical. But deep down, he was miserable. He felt unfulfilled, restless, like he was living someone else's life. In one day, he came across a quote that changed everything. The only way to become a writer is to write. It was a simple statement, but it shattered his fixed mindset. He realized that he'd been waiting for permission, from whom he wasn't sure. The call himself a rid. He'd been waiting to magically become good enough before he even started. With this new perspective, he made a commitment. He would ride for 1 hour every day, no matter what. No excuses, no procrastination, just 1 hour of putting words on the page. The first few weeks were tough. His inner critic was loud, telling him that everything he wrote was garbage. But he persisted. He reminded himself that he was learning, growing, improving with every word and slowly but surely, something incredible. His writing improved. Ideas flowed more easily. He found his voice. And most importantly, he rediscovered the joy that writing had always brought 2 years after making that commitment. He published his first novel. Was it a bestseller? But that didn't matter, because he had done something far more valuable than achieving overnight. He had changed his mindset. He had proven to himself that is consistent effort and a willingness to learn, he could become The writer he had always dreamed of being, It's Man's Journey, illustrates a crucial truth. Your mindset not only determines what you believe is possible, but it also shapes the actions you take or don't take to make those possibilities of reality. With a fixed mindset, you either had or didn't have. Disbelief paralyzed him, keeping him from even trying. What would a growth mindset? He saw writing as a skill that could be developed through practice and persistence. This new belief empowered him to take action, to put in the work required. The same principle applies to every area of your life. Whether you're trying to advance in your career, improve your relationships, get in shape, or learn a new skill, your mindset will either propel you forward or hold you back. A fixed mindset tells you that your abilities are set in stone, that you're a victim of your circumstances, that if something doesn't come easily to you, it's not meant for you. This mindset breeds fear, inaction, and ultimately regret. A growth mindset, on the other hand, tells you that you can develop your abilities through dedication and hard work. That's your circumstances are a starting point, not a final destination, and that struggles and challenges are opportunities to grow. Improve this mindset fosters resilience, motivation, and achievement. So how do you make this shift? How do you cultivate a growth mindset that will empower you to create the life you truly want? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts. Notice when you're slipping into fixed mindset. Are you avoiding challenges because you're afraid of failing? Are you giving up easily when things get tough? Are you ignoring useful feedback because it hurts your ego? Once you're aware of these thought patterns, challenge them. When you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good at this, add the word yet to the end of that sentence. I'm not good at this. Simple addition acknowledges that while you may be struggling now, improvement is possible with effort and practice. Next, reframe your self-talk. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, how can I do this? This subtle shift moves you from a state of helplessness to one of problem solving. It opens your mind to possibilities rather than shutting them down. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. When faced with a difficult task, instead of thinking, this is too hard to think this is going to help me improve, remember the brain is like a muscle. It gets stronger when you push it outside its comfort zone. Cultivate your love for learning. Be curious. Ask. Seek out new experiences and perspective. The more you learn, the more you'll realize how much there is to learn. And this humility is a cornerstone of a growth mind. Celebrate effort, not just results. Too often we focus solely on outcomes. The hard work, the persistence. What's the willingness to try and fail and try again? That's where the real growth. Acknowledge and appreciate your efforts. Regardless of the immediate outcome, surround yourself with growth-minded people. The people you spend time with have a huge impact on your mindset. Seek out individuals who inspire you, who challenged you to think bigger and reach higher. Distance yourself from those who constantly reinforce limiting or discourage you from pursuing your dream. And perhaps most importantly, be patient with yourself. Changing your mindset is not an overnight process. It's a journey, one that requires consistent effort and self-comp. You'll have set. You'll fall into old thought patty. That's okay. What matters is that you keep picking yourself up. Keep challenging those limiting beliefs. Sing forward. Remember the writer from our earlier story. His success didn't come from writing one perfect novel on his wall. It came from showing up day after day, putting in the work, learning from his mistakes, and continually striving to improve. Your journey will be similar. It's not about achieving it's about making progress. As you embark on this journey of mindset, trance, I want you to remember something crucial. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. This distinction is powerful because it puts you in control. Your thoughts don't happen to you. You create them. And if you can create them, you can change them. This doesn't mean that negative thoughts or self-doubt will magically disappear. They'll still show up, but with a growth mindset, you'll be equipped to recognize these thoughts for what they are. Just thoughts, not. And choose more empowering alternatives. Let's do a quick exercise. Think about a goal. You have something you really want to achieve, but haven't yet. Got it. Now pay attention to the thoughts. Does it come up when you think about this? Go. Do your voice saying it's too difficult, that you're not capable, that you don't have what it takes? Those thoughts are your fixed mindset talking. They're the old programming, the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. But remember, you are not those thoughts. You have the power to choose different thoughts. So let's reframe. Instead of "this is too difficult," try "this will be challenging, but I can learn and grow." Instead of "I'm not capable," think "I may not have all the skills yet, but I can develop them." I said "I don't have what it takes. I have everything I need to get started, and I'll figure out the rest along the way." Feel the difference. This is the power of a growth mindset. It doesn't deny the reality of challenges or the need for hard work. Instead, it approaches these realities with optimism, resilience, and the belief in your ability to learn and improve. Now I want to address something important. Adopting a growth mindset doesn't mean you'll never feel fear or insecurity again. These emotions are part of the human experience. Even the most successful, growth-minded individuals, the difference is in how they respond to these emotions. Instead of letting fear paralyze them, they recognize that feeling afraid often means they're pushing themselves outside their comfort, and that's where growth happens. Instead of letting doubt stop them, they see it as a sign that they're attempting something meaningful and worthwhile. Instead of letting insecurities hold them back, they use it as motivation to prepare more thoroughly and work harder. This is the essence of a growth mindset, not the absence of negative emotions or challenges, but a different way of perceiving and responding to them. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with for the next 30 days, I want you go to consciously practice adopting a growth mindset. Start each day by setting an intention to approach what's challenges as opportunities for growth. Catch yourself when you fall into fixed mindset. thinking and actively reframe those thoughts. At the end of each day, reflect on what you learned, how you grew, what challenges you faced and how you responded to them. Keep a journal if it helps. The act of writing down your experiences it can be incredibly powerful in reinforcing new thought patterns. Remember, changing your mindset is like building a muscle. It takes consistent exercise to see results. But I promise you, if you commit to this practice, you will see changes. You'll start to notice opportunities you missed before. You'll find yourself taking on challenges with enthusiasm rather than dread. You'll bounce back from setbacks more quickly, and most importantly, you'll start to see tangible progress towards your goals. You might be wondering, will this really make a difference in my life? The answer is a resounding yes, but don't take my word for it. Put it to the test. Give yourself the gift of these 30 days. What do you have to lose? You'll have spent a month thinking more positively and consciously about your life. At best, you'll have set in motion a transformation that will impact every aspect of your existence. Think about where you want to be a year from now, 5 years, 10 years from now. The person who will achieve those dreams isn't the person you are today, is the person you'll become by consistently challenging yourself, learning, growing, and expanding your mind. Every great achievement in human history started with a thought. Someone somewhere decided to think differently about what was possible. They chose to believe in their ability to learn and overcome obstacles. They adopted a growth mindset before we even had a term for it. The light bulb wasn't invented by someone who believed the darkness was an unchangeable fact of life. The airplane wasn't created by people who accepted that humans were meant to stay on the ground. The internet wasn't developed by individuals. Global, instant communication was an impossible dream. These world-changing innovations came from people who dared to think differently. People who looked at the status quo and thought, we can do better. People who faced setbacks and failures, but persisted. Because they believed in their ability to learn and improve. You have that same potential within you, the power to change and potentially the world starts with changing your mindset. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but my situation is different. You don't understand the challenges. And you're right. I don't know your specific circumstances, but I do know this. Whatever challenges you're facing, there are people out there who have faced similar or even greater obstacles and overcome. The single mom who put herself through medical school while raising 3 kids didn't have any special advantages. The immigrant who came to a new country with nothing but a dream and built a successful business didn't have a safety. The person with a disability who became a world-class athlete didn't have an easy. What these individuals had was a mindset that refused to accept limitations. They had a belief in their ability to learn, add, and overcome. And here's the beautiful truth. If they can do it, so can you, not because it's easy, but because you have the same fundamental tool that you have the ability to choose your thoughts, to shape your beliefs, to decide what's possible for you. This journey of mindset transformation isn't about positive thinking in a vacuum. It's not about ignoring real challenges or difficulties. It's about approaching those challenges with a belief in your ability to overcome them. It's about seeing obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable barriers. When you adopt this mindset, something remarkable. You start to see possibilities where before you only saw, you begin to take actions you previously thought were beyond you. You develop resilience that carries you through tough. Let me share one final story with you. There was a woman who had always dreamed of starting her own business. She had a great idea, but for years, she let her fear hold her back. She told herself she didn't have enough experience. The market was too competitive, but she couldn't ask her stable. But deep down, the real issue was her mindset. She was afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid of stepping out of her comfort zone. One day she decided enough was enough. She was tired of living with regret, tired of wondering what. She made a commitment to change her mindset. Instead of focusing on all the reasons why she couldn't succeed, she started asking herself, how can I make this work? She began educating herself, reading books on entrepreneurship, taking online courses. When she encountered concepts she didn't understand, instead of getting discouraged, she reminded herself, I don't understand this yet, but I can learn. She started networking, reaching out to other entrepreneurs for advice when she faced rejection or disinterest. Instead of taking it personally, she asked herself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve my approach? She started small, launching her business as a side hustle while keeping her day job. There were countless late nights, moments of doubt and but with each challenge she reminded herself that this was all part of the learning process. Slowly but surely, her business began to. It wasn't always a smooth journey. There were times when she thought about giving up. But her new mindset gave her the rezeal, things to push through the tough. 2 years after starting her business, she was able to quit her day job and focus on her company full-time. 5 years, her business was thriving, employing several people and making a real difference in her industry. What act about her success? She always said the same thing. The biggest obstacle I had to overcome was an external. It was my own mindset. Once I changed how I thought about challenges and failure, everything else began to fall into. This woman's journey illustrates the profound truth. Your mindset is the foundation upon which every other aspect of your life, your career, your relationships, your health, your financial situation, all of these are influenced by how you think. If you believe opportunities are scarce, you'll be less likely to take on a ski or pursue your dreams. If you believe you're not capable of learning new skills, you're shy away from challenges that could lead to growth. If you believe you don't deserve success or happiness, what's your unconsciously sabotage yourself? But when you shift your mindset, when you start believing in your ability to learn and grow, when you see challenges as opportunities, when you believe you're worthy, have success, your entire world begins. You'll start taking actions you previously thought were. You'll persist in the face of setbacks that would have derailed you before. You'll open yourself up to opportunities you might have overlooked in the past. This is the true power of mindset. It's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about fundamentally changing how you view yourself in the world around you. It's about unleashing your full potential and creating a life that aligns with your deepest desires. As we wrap up our time together, I want to leave you with this thought. The life you dream of living is it's not reserved for other people who are luckier, smarter, or more talented than you. It's available to you. If you're willing to do the work of transforming your mindset, this transformation won't happen overnight. It's not about flipping a switch and suddenly everything changes. It's a journey, a process of consistently challenging your old beliefs, embracing new perspectives, and taking action aligned with your new mind. There will be setbacks. There will be days when your old thought patterns creep back in. That's okay. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. Every time you catch yourself in a limiting belief and choose to reframe it, you're rewiring your brain. Every time you faced a fear and take action anyway, you're strengthening your growth mind. So I challenge you, don't wait for the perfect moment or until you feel completely ready. Begin right now by choosing one area of your life where you've been held back by a fixed mindset. It could be your career, a personal goal, a relationship, or any other aspect of your life where you felt stuck. Identify the limiting beliefs you've held in this area. Write them down. Then, for each limiting belief, down a growth-oriented alternative. For example, if your limiting belief is I'm too old to start a new career, you're a growth-oriented altern. Might be I have valuable life experience. That can be an asset and a new career, and I'm capable of learning new skills at any age. Next, choose one action you can take today, right after this session, that aligns with this new growth-oriented belief. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's researching courses in your desired new field. Maybe it's updating your resume. Maybe it's reaching out to someone who's successfully made it a similar career. The key is to start taking action, no matter how small. Because here's the truth. Your mindset shapes your actions, but your actions also shape your mindset. When you start acting in alignment with a growth mindset, you reinforce those new neural pathways. You begin to accumulate evidence. Support your new beliefs. As you do this, something magical, your confidence grow. You're a resilient strength. Your vision of what's possible expand. You start to see opportunities where before you only saw, you begin to attract people and circumstances that support your growth. This is how lives are. Not through wishful thinking or waiting for luck to strike, but through the consistent, dedicated effort of reshaping your mindset and taking aligned action. Remember, every great achievement, every life transformed, every dream realized started with a change in mindset. Someone decided to believe in possibilities instead of limitations. Someone chose to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable. Someone committed to becoming the person who could achieve their dream rather than waiting for success to magically appear. You have that same power within you, right here, right now. Your mindset is the most powerful tool you possess. It's the lens through which you view the world in yourself. When you change that lens, you change everything. Take control of your mindset. Choose to adopt a growth perspective. Embrace challenges as opportunities for learning. See failure as feedback, not a final verdict. Believe in your ability to learn, grow, and overcome. Be your future self. The person you'll become through this journey of mindset trance is counting on that person knows the incredible potential you hold. That person understands the power you have to shape your reality through your thoughts and beliefs. People, be brave. Be willing to challenge your limitations and step into your greatness. Because when you change your mindset, you don't just change your life. You open up the possibility of changing the world. The choice is yours. What will you decide? How would you use the power of your mindset to create the life you truly desire? The journey starts now with the very next thought you choose to believe. Make it count.